Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Stein,
I'm Joseph Markus.
and we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of our partnership.
August 1st.
So, Joe, tell me, how's it feel after spending 1 year as my partner?
It's been a very interesting and great year. It's been a roller coaster, I can tell you, from many, many perspectives.
So, let's talk about some of the highlights, and we'll talk about some of the lowlights. You and I had a few arguments and disagreements. I didn't listen always to you, but I learned.
And likewise.
So, tell us the highlight or the highlights.
It's interesting you asked me that question because there are many, but one of them was the first time that I was in court in Torrance on a 1437 issue, and a woman that had been convicted of murder literally, truly just gave her boyfriend a ride to a liquor store, and she was around the corner, and he went in and she didn't know that he was going to rob the liquor store. And he went in, he robbed the liquor store, he killed the liquor store clerk, came out, got in her car, and she drove him away. And 30 some odd years later, 1437 gave her relief in that circumstance. And I'll never forget the expression on her face. It was interesting because I didn't truly know her personally. I just knew her as a client. And then it becomes this immediate personal moment where you're saying, you're going to get out today. And it was a great experience.
Right. Did it bring you to tears?
It did. It also just made me feel as though this partnership was right.
And I often tell people I found that getting someone out, be it 1437 or habeas, is actually a better feeling than a not guilty verdict. I can't explain why, but it's so moving. You were a prosecutor for 33 years. You won a slew of cases. Tell us, what does it feel like when you get someone out after all these years? Is it like a high? Is it a rush? What's it feel like?
It's an interesting experience for me because I felt that when I prosecuted cases, I felt like I was always doing the right thing. And I really made an effort to try to do that. And in a lot of these cases that I've reviewed, I'm not saying the prosecutor didn't do the right thing. I'm just saying that the facts in and of themselves truly didn't lend itself to this kind of draconian sentences for a lot of these people. I mean, when you meet them and you realize they've been in jail for 50 years, 40 years, and they're looking at you going, I didn't kill anybody, I drove the car away from the liquor store. It's pretty phenomenal to see it from a different perspective. I've learned a lot of the business aspect of it, how to handle business from you, and how to handle client issues, and how to handle just the simplest of things, conflict issues, and things of that nature. So it's been even interesting just from a simple business perspective in terms of how to run a law firm.
Many people don't know this about you and I, but we actually tried a death penalty case against each other many, many years ago.
We did.
And as a result of that, we became friends.
We did.
We weren't friends before, but we became friends during the course of the trial.
That's true.
And people in the criminal justice system, many of them know both of us. And a majority of those people who know both of us did not think our partnership would be able to make it because we are both two strong personalities. What do you have to say to those people after 1 year who doubted we would even make it 6 months?
What I have to say to them is it works because we listen to each other. And that's important.
I've never had a brother. I feel like you're my brother.
Likewise.
And many times we see things differently, politically speaking also, but we agree.
That's true.
We agree that we can have our own opinions, but when it comes to the law, we generally agree on the law, don't we?
Yeah, we generally do, especially in regards to the law of homicide.
Right.
I mean, you're an old school defense attorney. You've been doing it a long time, and I've been doing it a long time. So there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of background. There's a lot of things that if we didn't have that in our backgrounds, we wouldn't have the ability to relate to each other. But we've been through particular judges, particular courthouses, been through particular cases, changes in law, all that enables a conversation to be really relevant, helpful, and not disagreeable, but just a legal conversation.
And I want to sort of blow your horn for a moment. Many people don't know but you are involved in some of the legislation that you now deal with. Tell our audience some of the laws that you're involved with in helping get them passed.
Well, there's a lot of interesting little aspects that are coming out in terms of the law and certain things that occurred. So there have been aspects of 1437 and changes to 1437 that I've been called on by a variety of people to assist that legislation to make more sense to the bench. I find that interesting. I find that interesting from a defense perspective. People call me because, that people that are in government call me and they ask me questions because they want to hear both sides of the story. They want to hear somebody who's doing defense work now and was a former prosecutor, and how those laws could affect change and how we could do it correctly.
And although money is very important to a partnership and success, how do you balance the need for taking money in and the best needs of the clients who call, specifically when 1437, when someone calls up? God, people want to give you their money all day long, right? Everybody wants to give you their money, right?
True.
And most of the time, unfortunately, we have to tell people, at least 50% of the time, we can't take your money. Do you feel good? I do. I feel good in a way when I can tell someone, ma'am, I can't help you right now. I don't want your money. Maybe a year from now, maybe two, maybe when parole time. How do you feel when you have that conversation with someone, when you're telling them, right now there's nothing I can do to help your loved one, but maybe someday there will be?
The greatest thing about this partnership on that subject matter that I learned in working with people, this is the truth, is that the money conversation doesn't come up until we've gone through the entire case, the facts, the history. So we never even get there until we figure out that we can help them and that there's something we can do for them. And I think that's the real critical factor of the partnership. In other words, we care enough, we care so much about the client that in the end we'll go, okay, so after all this has been said, what's the fee?
Right.
And the other thing is we always try to cut the fee a little bit less than what we feel others would charge because we feel we provide a better service, but we also want people to understand we're available to them.
Right, and I always tell...
We don't want to deny them by money.
Right, and I think what you and I both have in common that people don't know, we come from working families. Both our parents, especially our fathers, were very hardworking people, and we appreciate the fact that most of our clients are hardworking people who are doing something for a loved one. So I often tell people, we're not paid what we're worth, we're paid what our clients can afford. Is that a good motto to be?
It's absolutely the truth. And the other thing that I love about the partnership is, especially in 1437 work, most of the people that come in to visit with us are not obviously the client. The client is in a different situation, they're in custody. It's family members. It's family members who have turned to us and said they'll work nights, they'll work other times to try to pay for this representation. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to us that people would be willing to pay us to do that kind of thing and work overtime and want us to be their lawyers. And that's what I want the law firm to do.
Okay, and last but not least, where do you see this law firm going in the next 5 years?
I really see this law firm growing. I see it adding additional associates. I see us teaching new lawyers from our history and our experience how to be better lawyers, how to be more thorough lawyers, how to be more responsible and caring lawyers. And that's really what I see our role being. I see it as a development of a law firm that can make an imprint in that fashion in the legal community.
And last question, I promise. Are we going to see the sign up front one day saying Stein, Markus, Markus, and Markus?
We'll see.
Is that in the future?
We'll see. Kids, you never know.
Thank you, Joe. It's been great. Great year. God bless you.